I've been following this Donald Sterling case where he's the owner of the Clippers, and he got caught making statements that are considered racist, and so he's been banned from the NBA for life, banned from attending anything. He's banned from any involvement with the Clippers, and I presume he's going to have to sell the Clippers. And he's fined $2.5 million. So, and these statements were made in private. At least he thought they were. He's talking to his girlfriend on the phone, and she was recording him. And I guess they talked for, I guess there's 9 hours of recordings, and the most she could get him to say was he didn't want her taking pictures with black people and didn't want her to take black people to the game, including Magic Johnson. But she kept saying, "What's your problem with black people? And why don't you like black people?" And he kept saying, "I don't have any problem with black people. I like that. There's plenty of great black people." He never said, "I hate black people." Never said, "I don't like black people." He, in fact, said the opposite every time. But you could say, never said the N-word. He just didn't want his girlfriend hanging out with black guys, taking pictures with black guys, taking them to the ball game. So, if we are to be morally consistent, all of you who are down on Ronald Sterling, all of you who are applauding in the press, if you don't want to be a hypocrite, then you have to say that any athlete or other coach or other owner, he's not a coach, any coach or other owner or athlete, whether they be white or black, anybody can present some iPhone video of them making some racist comment, or maybe a police tape where they're getting arrested and mouthing off to the cops, where they're saying something racist, that they should be banned for life from the NBA and also fined as much as possible. I guess it's $2.5 million was the maximum fine. So, would you really want that? I mean, do you really want to live in a world like that? Think about this. Think about if all the NBA players now had that fear hanging over their head. Right now they're saying, "Dear God, please let nobody have recorded some of the things I've said in the past." Because, and they would have to include sexism, like if you're calling a woman a name, derogatory name, based on the fact that she's a woman. Sexism, that's right up there with racism. Or what if you're saying something bad about homosexuals? I mean, that would be or rednecks. What if somebody said redneck? And that's sexist. Cracker. Think of the implications of that, where you can never, in the privacy of your own home, while talking with your buddies, doing whatever, you've got to watch everything you say all the time. Why? Because maybe you make $5 or $10 million a year, however much you make. And if anybody can record you, even though it was illegal, his girlfriend did it, it's illegal in California, as I understand it. But it doesn't matter. You could tell that person, "Hey man, I want $100,000 or this is getting turned over to the NBA." And what are you going to do? You're going to pay it. Or you're going to try. I mean, what else can you do? So, is that the world we want to live in? I mean, is that the price we'll pay? Just so some old 80-year-old guy who might have made some comments that might be construed as racist, listen to his thing. I don't think you'll think so. But if you did, I would say that's a small bit of joy to trade in your freedom to say what you want to say. And think about this. 10 years ago, it was out of vogue to be pro-gay marriage. If you were to say 10 years ago, "I'm for gay marriage," that would have got you in trouble. Today, to say "I'm against gay marriage," that will get you in trouble. So things change with the times. I mean, it's like, what's the wind, the political wind a-blowing today? I mean, in America, aren't you supposed to be free? I mean, what if you just want to worship Satan? Or worship whatever? What if you want to hate anybody you want to hate. Why can't you hate whoever you want to hate, believe in whatever you want to believe in, and nobody else has to like it? Screw everybody else if they don't like it. Why can't you just be free? I mean, if you start trying to get somebody in trouble for racism or sexism or bigotry or whatever, you're allowing a group of people outside of yourself to tell you not how you have to act, but how you have to think. Because unless you're just going to keep it as total secret from the whole world, have your private thoughts. I mean, aren't you allowed, isn't the freedom of speech mean anything? I mean, let's face it. I mean, if anybody thinks, let's say the NSA really does record on our phones. Let's say they really do listen and record everything that you say, and they can pull it up later if they ever need to, just to listen to your past conversations. Do you think if you and I and anybody else, all of our friends and family, could lose our jobs and get banned for life from our industry, our career, whatever, government benefits, if we had ever said something sexist or racist? I mean, would you say, oh sure, I'll sign up for that? You'd sign up to get half your friends kicked off of the job that they're at? Would you really want a world like that? I mean, doesn't that sound like something George Orwell would come up with? 1984. They're watching me, man. I can't think. He's got to go hide in a little corner to write his little diary, write his own notes, to have his own free thoughts. It's kind of and what about people like, let's say you're some lady who was, raped or beat up by people of the opposite, of a different race than you. And you're just scared to death of them. You're afraid of them because it happened when you were a young person and you're just afraid of them to death. Or maybe you're a guy who got beat up by a bunch of dudes from the opposite race. And so that person makes some disparaging remarks about the opposite race. So what do we do? We punish that person for hating the people that assailed them, for hating, for their fear. Whether we think it's rational or not, it doesn't matter. Fear is a cause. It's a symptom of our experiences. So just think about the world you're asking for. If you welcome this, what tiny bit of joy you can have dancing around Donald Sterling's 80-year-old carcass, media carcass, even though he's alive and well and got lots of money still. What if they switch it on you and say, all right, since you cheered for him, now we're holding you accountable. Everybody can listen to your stuff. Everybody can try to frame you, blackmail you, pull up anything negative from your past and hold it against you from here until the day you die. And we can dig in the past too. That's what his girlfriend did. She was trying and trying until she thought she got, this is the best I can get, and that's what she came up with. Is that what you want for your kids? Is that what you want for your grandkids when we're long and dead? Is that the life? Is that the mental? I mean, basically, who controls what you think? It's the government. Who controls the government? Well, maybe this time it's the Democrats. Maybe next time it's the Republicans. Maybe it's the Democrats. Maybe it's the Republicans. Back and forth. Are you going to let back and forth control what you are allowed to think? I mean, maybe we should take lie detectors. Let's take lie detectors and see if people are racist before we allow them to have a job. In fact, well, why don't we give them all lie detectors now? Well, let's root out the racist. Say, come on in, everybody who works for the NBA. Come on in, ball players. Come on in, owners, coaches. We're going to strap you up to the machine and ask you questions about racism. We're going to find out if you're a sexist. We're going to weed out all those thoughts that are imperfect. And then you're going to get fired. And you're going to get banned for life. And you're going to get hated. And we're going to spend, hundreds of hours of media time deriding you and insulting you in the press. I mean, who would be left? Who would be left? Who would be left? Who's never been cut off in traffic and by somebody that you haven't mouthed off to? I'm just asking. I'm sure we're all safe. A better world. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think this makes it a better world. And that's something for you guys to think about. Thanks.